the easiest thing for me to do is do nothing, and everyone would praise me for doing nothing. But we really believe in it, and time will tell if I'm right.
Well, time told, and it says you're fired. Nico Harrison is out. 9 months after making the worst trade in NBA history, the Mavericks finally admitted what we knew all along. But this is about more than just the Luka trade. This is about a corporate executive who's staging a coup like Stalin and consolidated power so he became the only voice that mattered. When he took over in the summer of 2021, he inherited an organization built on loyalty and trust. Dirk stayed through everything. Mark Cuban trusted and enabled his people. It worked, but Nico looked at that foundation and saw competition. The prime example is Casey Smith. Over 20 years with the Mavericks, beloved trainer, icon in Dallas. And Nico fired him over Zoom while Smith was visiting his dying mother. That's not restructuring, that's a purge. And it was a microcosm for how Nico moved, quietly, ruthlessly, and eliminating anyone with ties to the old regime. In November of 2023, Mark Cuban surprisingly sold the Dallas Mavericks. He expected to remain in control of basketball operations, but Nico saw this as an opportunity to push out a voice he didn't want. The new owner, Patrick Dumont, was ultimately running things. This is the same man who once said Shaq had a great work ethic. Nico circled him like a shark hunting its prey and used this change in ownership as an opportunity to rebuild the basketball operations department in his image. He surrounded himself with yes men, corporate types only focused on advancing their own careers. The Luka trade doesn't happen if Nico's ego isn't inflated with every interaction inside that front office. And in that echo chamber, with a compliant owner who thought he was just following the expert like everyone told him he should, Nico got the green light for his disaster piece.
Obviously, you got to get judged on the performance that you've done as a leader, and at some point, if it doesn't work out, then I'll be judged for that.
February 2025, that trade happens. The Mavs, led by Nico Harrison, trade a young, promising guard. Quentin Grimes gets shipped to Philadelphia for Caleb Martin. But seriously, I still can't believe they traded Luka Doncic. The return package doesn't matter. The fact that you even entertained, much less went through with the idea of trading him, makes zero sense at all. Nico's pitch? Defense wins championships. He genuinely believed Luka lacked grit. Multiple Dallas sources have independently told me that in Nico's mind, he wasn't trading away Luka, but that he was trading for Anthony Davis. That he could build something better around AD's two-way game. Here's what Nico didn't do. Ask anyone else. He didn't consult Cuban, didn't run it by analytics, didn't call other GMs to gauge Luka's actual trade value. If he had, the offers would have destroyed what the Lakers gave up. But when one person cuts the cord while everybody's asleep, the destruction can't be contained. Luka's time in Dallas wasn't ruined by injuries or on-court failures. It was stolen, ripped from a city that cherished him by the man entrusted to protect it. And now, everyone suffers.
I did know that Luka was important to the fan base. I didn't quite know it to what level.
The trade broke everything, and it started with the fans. First home game after the trade, nearly 1,000 fans showed up outside the arena with Fire Nico signs and a coffin. Inside, Fire Nico chants were the only thing that you could hear. Every single game. Even when guys for the Mavs were shooting free throws. When Luka came back as a Laker in April, the standing ovation for him lasted longer than anything the Mavs got all season. Then came the money. The sellout streak that lasted 26 years? Over. Season ticket renewals dropped. Merchandise tanked. The team probably lost $1 billion in valuation. And here's the thing about Patrick Dumont. He might not know ball, but he knows money. And once the money started getting messed with, things moved swiftly. This season was supposed to be year 2 of Nico's self-imposed 3 to 4 year championship window. Dallas started 3-8. They're 16-28 since the trade last year. AD has played in only 14 of those games. Kyrie's played 11. This may shock you, but when you acquire players with injury histories, it's not a surprise when they get injured. The Mavs are dead last in 3-point percentage, dead last in assists. Their offensive efficiency is 29th in the league, so hey, there's something. Cooper Flag is being played out of position because there's no real point guard. The franchise has a Luka-sized hole and is trying to fill it with vibes. Fans are so disgusted that they couldn't cheer for their own team. The atmosphere at the American Airlines Center has gotten so toxic that multiple Mavs players have told reporters off the record that they prefer playing in away games. Cooper Flag, the #1 pick they somehow lucked into, admitted after a miserable home loss.
I mean, for me, it's the most, I've lost since, I think ever.
His mom retweeted something that sums it all up. Cooper shouldn't have to listen to "fire Nico" chants when a teammate's at the free throw line with the game on the line. Nico's response? Portable stairs. Rolled in through the tunnel every game so he could exit without walking through the crowd. He goes into witness protection while the franchise burned. Back in April, Mavs insider Isaac Harris asked Nico the question we all wanted to ask.
Why shouldn't you be fired?
At Media Day this year, they debriefed about it. Nico said it was, quote, the most disrespectful question he's ever been asked. Told Isaac time will tell if he's right. Time told. Monday night, November 10th. Patrick Dumont flew in from his ivory tower in Las Vegas and showed up at the American Airlines Center 2 hours before tip-off. That's very unusual. He met behind closed doors with team president Rick Welts and Mark Cuban. The decision to fire Nico Harrison was made then. At the game, Dumont sat courtside next to an 18-year-old Mavs fan wearing a Luka Lakers jersey. The kid apologized for cursing at him and using his middle finger to tell him he was a #1 owner earlier in the season. Dumont told him he felt horrible about the trade, wanted to make it up to the fans. It was a soft test, taking accountability in person before making it official. Tuesday morning, a Shams tweet saying Nico Harrison will be relieved from his duties as Mavs GM at a 10 a.m. meeting. Imagine getting a Shams notification that you'll be fired from your job in 37 minutes. Patrick Dumont's learning curve has been brutal. He trusted and enabled his GM like everyone says owners should, and it went worse than any meddling owner could have dreamed. But at least an owner can eventually learn to avoid bad decisions. And Dumont finally learned this one. You can't let the guy who dug you in the hole be the one to fill it back in. If you can trade Luka Doncic 7.5 months after a finals appearance, you can fire the GM who made the trade 9 months later.
Things happen. Fortune favors the bold. So exciting things fell our way.
Mavs executives Michael Finley and Nat Riccardi were appointed as interim co-GMs while they search for a permanent head of basketball operations. One name has been popular in Mavs circles, Dennis Lindsey. He was brought in as Nico's advisor for one season, 2023-24, and quietly built the finals roster. The trades for PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, moving up to take Dereck Lively, that was Dennis Lindsey's work. Then he left for Detroit, and Nico took credit while torching it all. Mark Cuban's pushing hard for Lindsey to come back. He knows the organization, knows the players, and knows who needs replacing. With the trade deadline less than 3 months away, Dallas needs someone who can hit the ground running. The brutal truth is that the damage is done. No first-round picks until 2031 after this year, an aging center on a max deal, and a generational rookie being misused. But at least the guy who caused it won't be the one trying to fix it. As for Nico, he'll crawl out in 3 to 4 years with some consulting gig or advisory role in sports marketing. Maybe a startup in the NIL space. His Nike connections still matter, but his exit narrative is toxic right now. Guy who traded Luka and got fired for it isn't exactly the best resume builder. But eventually, that stink will fade. Eventually, he'll get a job in the basketball business orbit again. But he'll never run an NBA team again. And honestly, that's how it should be. You don't get a second chance after something like this. Not when the destruction was that complete. Not when you made a franchise-altering mistake all to serve your own ego. Nico Harrison walks away with a golden parachute. The Dallas Mavericks and their fans are left wondering, what if, until Luka retires, and probably long after that. But at least time finally told the truth. And the truth is, he was wrong. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons and send it to the Mavs friend in your life that's very happy Nico is no longer employed by them. Subscribe to Basketball Business for more great breakdowns on how the business side of the game influences the on-court plays. Until next time, this is Kyle with Basketball Business.